For today's video, I'm going to depot lipsticks. Here's what you'll need. I've got my Z potter. I've got 9 lipstick shades that I want to create my custom lipstick Z palette with. I've got round, empty pans. I'm going to use these round ones, but we also offer the empty pans in a square size or in a little mini round metal pan. So these are great if you want to fit more colors into your Z palette. And then I've got my small Z palette. I've got my Z palette depotting spatula, and I've got a little alcohol to clean up any mess. So let's get started. I'm going to start by turning the power button on and then the temperature to the midpoint, number 3. And then I'll take my spatula, my empty pan, and my lipstick and start depotting. So I take about 1/4 of the lipstick tube and chop it right into the metal pan. So I just need my paper towel to clean that up. Clean up the spatula as I go. Then the next color. And then move that right along into the warming area. Then the next color. Now, if you're somebody that really likes to write down the shade names for future color reference, you can take a Sharpie and label each color ahead of time in the order that you're depotting so that you know what color is in the pan for future reference. So I'm going to just chop that up. Again, this is very flat, stable, and I can get a lot done at one time. You just keep repeating these steps. And here we go. Now we're doing our brown nude. So I've got a nice shade of pinks. I've got some reds. And now I've got some neutrals. And you can see how fast they start melting. If you really want to have fun and you want to get custom with your colors, you could always mix these colors too. I could take a little of this and mix it with a little red and create my own color in this pan if you want to do something like that, which is fun. And now, just let the machine do the work. And these ones are melting. And like I said earlier, if you want, you could take your pan and say, you want to reference the color, you could take, this is L'Oreal 260 Raspberry Rush. Take your Sharpie and literally just write right on the pan, Raspberry Rush. And now you know that for future reference. These ones are already melted, so I can take my spatula and just move it to the cooling area. And then I can take that one and scoot it over. Then I have everything in a pan where I can easily, once they're all cooled, pop them into my Z palette. Instead of having every color in this tube where I have to open every cap up, see what color it is, or remember, having to rummage through my bag, look for each color, it's right there in my Z palette. It's going to be super clean, super easy. It's also a great way that if you like to have a lipstick tube and you have a little bit left at the bottom that you can't get to, this is a great way to scoop that rest of the product out of your lipstick tube and get it into a pan so that you can actually use what's in there. So let's see. Move that here. And this is already cooled. You can see this pan within like 30 seconds is already cooled. So I can open up my Z palette and pop that right in. This pan has already cooled. Pop that right in. Let's keep going. So we've got a couple more that have melted. Let's set those aside. And don't worry about any of this lipstick. That's easily wiped away once we're finished here. You can just take the alcohol and just pour a little, and with the cloth, clean it right up. Sometimes I like to poke it with the spatula just to kind of move the melting part a little quicker. This one's about done. This one's done. And this one is cool. And if it gets a little messy on the outside, you just wipe it with your paper towel. And pop it right into your Z palette. There we go. And just be careful, the pan can be a little hot to the touch. They haven't really been on the Z potter that long, so they're okay. But you can always use a paper towel or something to handle them so that you don't burn yourself, because the pan does get hot. Z potter uses induction technology, so the cool part is it won't get hot to the touch when you're using a plastic compact, because it only responds to the metal pan. So you are less likely to be burning yourself, which is nice. So I've got my reds, some pinks, and now my neutrals. Now that I'm done, I can turn the machine off, and you'll hear that the fan is still working. That's just the machine cooling down, and it'll probably be working for about a minute, but it doesn't mean it's on, it's just the machine cooling down. And now you've got my neutrals in here. This one's ready. And while we're waiting for this one, we can clean up our Z potter right here with that paper towel and just wipe it off. And then you'll hear that the fan has shut down. And my last pan is ready. I can pop it into the Z palette. And there we go. I've got 9 various lipstick shades, reds, pinks, neutrals, ton of choices here that I can now just handle quickly in my Z palette. Super convenient, super easy. Open that up, get my lip brush, decide which color I want, or take it out. If I want to create a look in another Z palette, just take this color for my look today. You know, easy, interchangeable. Just helps you to customize, organize, and simplify your makeup.